Hello and welcome to episode number 25 of the TEW 2016 Challenge Run. We're booking SmackDown Live and 205 Live here today. The go-home show is before Payback, and without any further ado, let's just jump straight into it. SmackDown kicks off with Aleister Black's theme song playing around the arena, and it would kick in, and then as it gets to the part where obviously he would rise up on the coffin, he's nowhere to be seen, he's just not around. Then the camera pans to the actual entrance ramp instead of the side part where the creaking board will rise up. Daniel Bryan and Rowan come out. Bryan's like fighting his way through the smoke, kicking over candles, he's really angry. He gets him in the ring, he's like, I had you all on strings. The fickle WWE universe just want to see the smoke and mirrors, the pomp and circumstance. But as soon as that's over, you boo and you boo and you boo and you boo. Fickle. He's like, when the old Daniel Bryan would come to the ring, he didn't need a flashy entrance, he just came out, said yes, 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 and he wrestled. And that's what endeared him to the WWE universe. But somewhere between now and then, the WWE universe sort of lost its attention span and became more and more disgusting, and now they just want to see Aleister Black come out from the darkness with his candles and his cool entrance theme, and just generally advocate for a terrible lifestyle, whereas Bryan advocates for saving the planet and being a genuine great human, and all he gets is booed for it because he doesn't have a cool entrance. So Bryan says it'll be his honour to expose Aleister Black at Payback, and once that happens, the WWE Universe will move on from Aleister Black because they won't care about him anymore, because they will no longer think he's cool, and they'll move on to the next flavour of the month, which could be Ricochet, could be anybody. And Bryan will also says, not only will he have exposed Aleister Black for the fraud he is, he would have exposed the WWE Universe for the fickle beings that they are. So Bryan not too keen on Aleister Black's whole charade. Then get a pretty good 6-woman tag team match. It's Alexa Bliss and the Sky Pirates against Charlotte, Carmella and Mandy. And Kyrie gets the pin over Mandy. Alexa can state claim to the fact that she has a victory over Charlotte, fresh before their encounter this Sunday at... I've just realised I was saying this Sunday the whole time for Raw. It's actually Saturday. But yeah, this Sunday at Payback. We then get an update from Ember Moon, who is shown obviously rehabbing her injured shoulder. And she's like, hey WWE Universe, I hope you haven't forgotten about me. I was moved to SmackDown in the shake-up, and I can't wait to get back and be a part of Team Blue. I'm still a month or so away, two months away from returning to the ring. But let it be known, as soon as I'm back, I'm coming to claim my yard and claim my SmackDown women's division and claim the women's title. So just to remember to keep Ember Moon in the fans' mind, because she's been gone for a while. She's still going to be gone for a little while longer. We then get Randy Orton beating the other man he beat up 2 weeks ago, RTruth, with an RKO. After the match, Orton, like he did with Curtis Axel, continues to attack RTruth. This one seems very more methodical, because Ricochet comes charging out, and he would do some sort of springboard move to Randy again, but this time Randy would catch him with an RKO. He would do the cool... God knows what this RKO would look like, because it's Ricochet and he could literally do whatever he wants. So this would probably be one of the coolest RKOs of all time. But Orton seems to have baited Ricochet out, knowing this would happen. And he's dropped him with an RKO as Randall Orton stands tall. Asuka's back in action against Nia Jax, gets a win, 76B-. After the match, she's celebrating the win. Shayna Baszler comes back out and puts her to sleep yet again. So that's this Sunday at Payback. These two will meet for the SmackDown Women's title. Shayna Baszler's got on the better of Asuka twice now. We then cut to Paige, who's shown backstage watching the show on a monitor. Kathy's like, Paige, what are you doing here? You're no longer the general manager of SmackDown. And Paige says, yeah, I know I'm no longer the general manager because the McMahons are now in charge. But I'm still here, I'm still a fan, I've still got friends here. So I'm still going to come and obviously check out the show. And this Sunday at Payback, I'm going to keep showing my support for Team Blue. I'll actually be in the front row, watching like a fan of SmackDown. So Paige just wants to enjoy SmackDown life now she's no longer the general manager. She says the stress of being a general manager got to her, and she's now just relaxed to see it from the outside perspective yet again. Bobby Lashley and Apollo Crews get a win over the Colognes. Apollo gets the win. After the match, Lio Rush gets on the mic. He says, is this the best competition you have for the almighty Bobby Lashley and his fantastic bum? And Apollo Crews, who had some sort of nickname that I don't know yet. If anybody out in the back wants a piece of the almighty and Apollo, come out now. The Hardy Boys come out because they beat them 2 weeks ago. And they would chase Bobby Lashley off. And Leo would obviously stay behind. He'd eat the Twist of Fate Swanton Bomb combo. And Lashley and Apollo would have run away. Lars Sullivan beats No Way Jose again with a freak accident. Okay. We then get a backstage segment. Finn Balor is obviously sat in one of the lockers. You know what I mean? When Kevin Owens walks in, he's like, hey man, I know we've been friends, we've been enemies, and I know you took my NXT title away from me, but no hard feelings. And Finn's like, it's fine, bro. And then Balor's like, we had some good times in NXT together. Owens would say, yeah, I'd still say that we are two of the greatest NXT champions of all time. And Finn's like, okay, that's an interesting thing to say. But let's spin it on the contrary. Who do you think is the worst NXT champion of all time? And Kevin Owens would be like, I'd say not necessarily worst, but most forgettable is definitely Drew McIntyre. And Balor's like, I guess I did forget he was champion, to be fair, but I can't forget those 8 months we were subdued to watching Bobby/Robert Roode as the NXT champion. And Owen says, let's just hope that good job we know that Robert Roode's not going to win a title again this Sunday, hey? So just taking digs at their opponents at Payback, whilst being just good little boys. Sheamus defeats Rey Mysterio, thanks to a botched interference from Zelina Vega. She's come to her age. She's stepped out of her comfort zone. Not with Andrade. She's come out to try and help Rey, and it's backfired for her. So now the Bar and Rey and Andrade on a level playing field heading into Money in the Bank. Not Money in the Bank. Payback. We then get a hype video for the former Lucha House Party, Gran Metalik and Lince Dorado, saying that with Kalisto still on 205 Live, they've come to SmackDown to make him proud, and that they're no longer going to be the happy sideshow, the party guys that come out and have fun with piñatas. They're just going to be here and make the Mexican luchador heritage proud. So they're not heels, but they're no longer the happy-go-lucky Lucha House Party. They're just a pair of luchadors who want to climb to the top of the SmackDown Tag Division. The main event is really fucking good, and it's Robert Roode and Drew McIntyre who get the win. They defeat Kevin Owens and Finn Balor. McIntyre gets a pinfall victory over the IC champion, which is something to note. But that's about it for the show. Why did this do so good? Actually could have done better, because there's a couple of negatives in there. The show gets an 92A. And that is the go-home show for SmackDown. I'll pause here. We'll get to 205 Live, and then it will be pay-per-view time. And we're back with our 205 Live action. We start off with Noam Dar, who has been in NXT UK for a while. But he's back on 205 Live now, and he's scoring a win over Kalisto with a Champagne Super Knee Bar. That gets him onto the board. And I said that's it for the match. We then get another video hyping up Flip Gordon about his debut 2 weeks ago. What he did, this is basically part 2 of the one from last week. Like NXT does them sometimes, where they do part 1 one week and part 2 another week. So this is part 2, and then we say next week Flip will be back in action on 205 Live. We then get another debut here on 205 Live, and Helico debuts, and he defeats Mike Kanellis, who has no chemistry with his wife. I will point that out every single time it pops up. And but he loses to Angelico in his 205 Live debut. But after the match, Angelico is celebrating his debut win when Aiden English runs in and lays him out with the director's cut. So Aiden, of course, back on 205 Live, said, "You're going to remember me and not any new flash in the pans that debut." And he's seen Angelico debut here. So he's taken him out. Then in our main event matchup, Jack Gallagher gets the win over Sin Cara, getting himself a nice point on the board. Just trying out 2 different people in the main event slot, and it actually did pretty good. Sin Cara is doing good on this show. But the actual main event is a contract signing for Payback. Yeah, they're on Payback, because the women's tag titles are on Backlash. Between Buddy Murphy and Tyler Bate, who'll have their rematch, their third match at Payback. Scores a 58C-, and that is it for the weekly shows. Next time I'll see you will be for Backlash. See you then.